YouTube, we have hot takes, and this week I'm doing it live at twitch.tv/KarQ because there are Reaper drops and there will be OWCS drops next weekend. Well, let's take a look at your takes and see whether they're good, they're bad, and see if the Twitch chat makes fun of you as well. They're spamming some very high quality emotes, and here we go. Is this the first hot take? Hot take. Everyone complains about Push having a first fight advantage without realizing that the same goes for Control, which has an even greater emphasis as the winners will be in an advantageous defender's position compared to Push, which only has a backtracking advantage. I mean, you're right. I mean, Controlled certainly has a first fight advantage if you do take the first one. I think Overwatch League had a stat, right? Am I not mistaken? Anybody here watch a lot of Overwatch League? Any team that won the first Control fight had like a 60%, somewhere between the 50 to 60% chance to win the entire round, right? That part's true, and that's something to be addressed. That's the only public information we have. But for Push, we don't even have any stats, I think, on who ends up winning after pushing, unless OWCS or like the recent league with Overwatch 2 did show that stat. But I think with the push advantage, with the fight, with the backtracking, like that's just time that you can't get back. And positioning is a bit dynamic depending on the map. Even if you are pushed back, you do have a little bit of ultimate economy in push, and the positions, again, yeah, they kind of depend on the point. So yeah, I think both could be addressed in a way, but like I think people don't complain about Control as much is because the map is symmetrical and there is no like, you know, make up push bot distance where if you win the fight on Control, you take the point back. You could in theory like match similar times, but like if you push and win the fight back on push, you'd have to do the backtracking bot time before you start retaking the advantage, and there's no way you can catch up to a similar time that the first team got. If you're even like you win the same amount of team fights throughout the whole match, like the team that wins first on push usually wins, but on Control at least you can go to 99 and stall, and there's probably more, it evens out a bit more over the long term. At least that's my take on it. Hot take, I actually like all the new modes. I like Push, Clash, and Flashpoint. I come from Overwatch 1, and yes, while my favorite mode is hybrid, I also enjoy the new modes. I like how different they are from each other. I love the map designs. I also like switching objectives. I feel like people just love to join in on the bandwagon of hating them. Wow, apparently that is a hot take, because you're right. The thing is, people are the loudest when they don't like something or when they want to complain. I think if more people were vocal about things they did like you'd find that it isn't really that hot of a take. A lot of people actually agree with you. I do like most of the Overwatch 2 stuff apart from Clash. Up until Clash, I actually don't mind Push, and I actually really like Flashpoint, so I kind of agree with that statement, you know? Everything will have its issues, like 2CP had its issues, but that's an old mode, but like, you know, everything up to now until Clash was pretty good for me. Hot take, well, next take is DPS controls the outcome of the game, assuming the tank isn't hard throwing. How many clips do you see on Noob Hunter of a tank or support destroying a team without even using an ability or having good positioning? DPS can get solo kills the easiest. Kills win matches. Yes and no. Like, obviously the kills do confirm whether you will probably can determine the outcome the highest, like especially ones that can just click them and destroy them instantly, like Widowmaker, Hanzo, any one-shotters. But like DPS a lot of times can't do their job as effectively if the other pieces aren't moving in coordination, like the tanks, like the supports. But I will say DPS has the highest carry potential for that reason. I would agree with you for the most part. There are some tanks that can operate in the same way where they are literally just DPS with extra HP. Like Queen is just a DPS. So is kind of Zarya with a bit of like tank utility where she can soak some damage with the bubble. Like Queen is not really soaking. She's kind of just going in and just popping DPS. Like she has to tank some damage because she's gonna be the first one to be shot because she's up in the front. But yeah, high damage equals kill potential, and securing kills equals winning matches. Hot take, every ability with a cooldown of 15 seconds or longer has some level of design issues. Disruptor Shot is probably the most fixable since it just needs number tweaks, and Resurrect is probably the hardest case. It's a pretty big blanket statement because Disruptor Shot, I didn't even know Disruptor Shot was 15 seconds, first of all. And number two, you posted this November 2nd. I mean, Disruptor Shot just got changed right now where it generates a charge for Sojourn. I think that's a pretty dynamic thing. I don't think Disruptor Shot has any design issues. It's there to like deny an area, and if you step on it, it rewards Sojourn a little bit. I think it's good. Back then when it used to slow, it was a little too overloaded, but like I think that's fine. And if I want to list all the other 15-second cooldown abilities, what is it? Like Suzu, it just got buffed to like 14 seconds. Does that count? Suzu has its issues, sure. Lamp, Res, but these are mostly defensive like support abilities. What else is a long cooldown? I'm trying to think here. Now, if you think about it this way, why do these abilities have a long cooldown though? You say it's design or level issue, but it's because it is the most rewarding. It is the most powerful cooldown, so they're on a long cooldown by nature. Is it a design issue? Not really. I think it's fine to have some heroes with like strong base abilities, but then you have to put a cost to them, which is a high cooldown, right? That's part of the balance. They may feel like the most egregious, so you think it's a design issue, but that's just how they balance it. That's one of the knobs they can turn for it. It's tricky though. Like some did have their issues in some ways, but like not so much with this blanket statement. I don't like that one. Yeah, it needs the risk and reward with powerful abilities. It rewards the game sense if you like use it correctly in the right circumstance. The problem, I guess, becomes when it's just too easy to like use it in like every use case or every scenario and never be punished for it. Hot take, only big content creators and Overwatch League players wanted 5v5. The actual community did not. Another hot take, we need to stop accepting the laziness from Blizzard and get to demanding the continuation of story missions. Okay, first hot take, only big creators and OWL players wanted 5v5. Actually, counter hot take from me, I don't think anybody wanted or expected it. I think they had to help. They addressed the reason why was the queue times and stuff. But I think if they never mentioned 5v5, I would have been perfectly content with it keeping 6v6 for the rest of history, even if they're going to Overwatch 2. I don't think anybody thought like the game should simplify to 5v5. All of us were fine with 6v6, but when they presented it, it was like, okay, I'll give it a whirl. And now that I played it, it's okay. It's a little different, but it's fine. Obviously, a lot of people don't like it. But that's not to say that that whole community or OWL players and creators wanted it. No one wanted 5v5s, but people wanted better queue times. It just wasn't fun sitting in a 1 hour long queue around Overwatch 1. Yeah, ProScene was definitely not asking for it. That was just not true. So that's certainly a hot take. The next hot take you have is we need to stop accepting the laziness from Blizzard into demanding the continuation of the story missions. My take on this is I don't actually think Blizzard were necessarily lazy. I think the devs that worked on the stuff weren't lazy people, and it was less about laziness and more about misdirection and mismanagement of how they wanted to approach it, reassessing the product. Is it good? Is it bad? And then you couple it with COVID, work from home, RTO stuff, and then a lot of turnover for employees. So it was just like a business mismanagement, not like, I'm sure the people who worked on all the levels and maps were not lazy. And the problem, what's sad is that a lot of their work, non-lazy work, just doesn't get to see the light of day because of like overarching decisions. Anyways, our team is gone, so there's no continuation of it. Next hot take, competitive will always suck as long as you solo queue into a team game. You're not happy that your teams are not coordinated? No kidding, you just met them 30 seconds ago. Stop taking Overwatch seriously until they come out with some type of clan or team system. Well, competitive will only suck if you continue to have a mindset that you have like unrealistic expectations. I've literally made this analogy a gazillion times, but like if I'm gonna go to like an intramural or pickup game of like volleyball, basketball, whatever with random people, I'm not expecting Steph Curry to be on my team, and I'm not expecting every person to be in the right spots and know exactly what I want to do and I know exactly what they want to do. I think people just have mismanaged expectations when they queue into any team game, right? Competitive, in this game competitive, and League of Legends, like, no. Yeah, you met them 30 seconds ago. So stop taking, like, you play it competitively, but like, don't take it like take it seriously, but like not, you know what I mean? And then play with like a team or clan system or like, you know, a coordinated league team. And then you can have like more coordinated stuff. And that's the highs of any team game. People aren't going to be able to work together all the time. And if you can manage that expectation, you'll have a much better time playing competitive. Like, sometimes I'm frustrated, but then sometimes I vibe with ranked because I'm just playing for myself, you know, like, and if people are in voice, great. And if we have a good time, good combos, and we're killing things and we're all laughing and having a good time, that's fine. And if not, we're going to have some bad games where we're just getting rolled and steamrolled. But like, yesterday we were winning the whole game. The server crashed. I was like annoyed for like 10 seconds and I'm like, whatever, just got to move on. Like, there's literally nothing I can do at that point. So, why? What the fuck is this? Why are there butt plugs in your ears? You mean you mean these? You mean these? If you guys watch enough of these videos, these things. They're charging right now. These are just earbuds. All right, relax, buddy. Check your mother's asshole next time you want to look for butt plugs. Wait, what? Next take. Hot take. Junkenstein's lab is what pickable passives should have been. Some of the more extreme cases would need to be changed if added into the base game, but the difference in gameplay, depending on what talent you picked, was much better. Yes, I agree. It still needs another iteration or like tuning on more balanced pickable passes, but yeah. What was the pickable passive quick play hacked a few months ago? It was like you got an option of 3 general ones for the role. I remember one was called Slayer. One was the one where you get like increased cooldown where you're less than half HP. Those are very blanket ones for the whole role. But yeah, Junkenstein's one where like each hero has individual tuned things, a bunch of them. I agree. I think that would be the best case scenario and would allow you to like dynamically switch them depending on the game. So not necessarily like Junkenstein where you pick it and you're locked in for the whole round, but going back to spawn and picking something tuned to your hero. Yes. I don't think that's a hot take at all. I think most people would agree with that. Next hot take, season 9 was the best season of Overwatch 2. It was also the season where the game lost so many players because metal ranks cannot face tank anymore. So now we're reverting back slowly to how it was before. You know, besides like, you know, playing through the rank reset, I will say that when people tried the new patch with the bigger projectile size and the bigger HP pools, everybody did like it. I mean, I did. That was actually the season I played the most ranked. I will say I'm very used to having 250 HP now base, and like when I play classic, like it's so easy to die because everyone's back at 200 HP. Actually, you could face tank more after season 9 because you had a bigger HP pool and less burst breakpoints. Yeah, I think they mixed it up. You're right. No, you're not misunderstanding. I think they meant to say the opposite. No, Nathan, it's so easy to die because there are no supports. What do you mean? It's easier to die post season 9? I don't think so. Especially right in the season 9 patch where they didn't fix every breakpoint. Hanzo couldn't one-shot me anymore. Junkrat couldn't one-shot me anymore. Oh, in Classic? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. There also are no supports that are like reasonable. No, I think season 9 itself was pretty good. I won't lie to you. Hot take, if you can't handle potentially random people to talk shit about your gameplay, turn off your comms. It's not like 99% of people use VC anyway unless it's comp. And then it's like 30% do. So either way, most people aren't talking to you. And if that gets your mindset down, you're gonna have a real tough time in the world. Also, LFGs are crucial to the game and the devs are screwing new players by not giving them a chance to find people play on a continuous basis. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people do turn off the comms for that. A lot of people can't handle that because, you know, they have a rough day. They just want to play some games casually, and the last thing they want to do is have some fucking 16-year-old yell in your ear thinking like they're just being the most exhausting teammate of all time. That's fine. I agree with that. You should turn it off. You don't need to hear them. If that gets your mindset down, you're gonna have a tough time. I mean, yeah, they're probably already having a tough time for that reason, right? I don't want to hear people just be annoying. I prefer to people like, you know, use their voice in game as well, but like, I'm not going to knock anybody who doesn't. Like, people are living their own life. We're playing in a fucking, like I said, you manage your expectations in a ranked game. Not everyone's going to use their mic. That's fine. But if I'm playing in a coordinated 5-stack, if I was playing with Team Overwatch, with Emong, Jay, Custa, and Apply, like, then the expectation is everybody calms and, you know, because we're playing in a coordinated team environment. That's fine. But if you're playing ranked or playing quick play, like, have no expectation of that. Anyways, your next part, LFGs are crucial to the game. I think people tend to go to other platforms to find groups of friends and have their groups of friends anyways. They made an LFG system in Overwatch 1, and one of the reasons why they removed it was because it literally got like no usage. It wasn't very good. I think if it doesn't take much resources to like upkeep and like moderate and put into the game, it's like fine to just like have it exist there. I don't see why not. But I think they said because there were some like moderation issues and maybe some resources it was drawing, but it was so underutilized that they just cut it. I get that decision too. I don't think it's screwing as many players as you think though. A lot of new players are probably a little too shy to find people to play like that on a continuous basis. Most people, I will say, will probably play with people they know IRL as a first priority. Hot take, balance should be prioritized for gold and platinum players as they are the majority. This works more since Overwatch League is not a thing anymore. No, balance should always be prioritized top down because you want to balance for what the capacity or the ceiling is of a hero. If you balance it for like simple things that like an average player isn't capitalizing on, then the actual good players are going to exploit it, and then you're going to have even wackier balance issues. Next hot take, metal players often benefit from playing like their rank instead of above a rank. Example, metal lobby never takes high ground, but you think to do it to gain an advantage. You hold improperly and give the enemy team the idea to do it, and then they hold it better against your team than when you tried. That just means the enemy team adapted and is playing above their rank, unlike you then. This is not a good take. You should always be trying to play above your rank, or else how the hell are you gonna climb? What? If you play like a silver, you're gonna stay silver. If you play like a gold but you're in silver, you'll eventually make your way to gold. If you hold it improperly, that's fine. That's a learning experience. How else are you gonna get better? You give the enemy team the idea to do it, they're playing like the gold and you're still playing like the silver because now you're too scared to do it. So they deserve to climb and you don't. Hot take, the tank role would be more popular if they have more health and less damage. I don't think so. I just think tank itself is never going to be popular, and that's just a gaming rule. It's just an, what do you call it? A thankless job to just be soaking damage for your team because you don't feel as good. I think tanks would be more popular if they were, you know, they need to have some sort of lethality, and you can see why and movement, and that's why tanks like who have more health, like the Maugas, like the Orissas, who's got high base health, like they're not as fun as the ones that are you know, more dynamic and do a lot of damage, like Zarya and Junker Queen and things like that. And like Ryan. Like Ryan has a decent amount of health, but like Ryan's can actually rack up a lot of damage if he's swinging away. I don't know. I do think no matter what you do, tank is just not going to be popular. More CC, but then you make other people complain that like there's too much CC in the game. You would yeah, if you have more health, you would need more CC machine. You would have to have a lot of CC. But then this is a game that they're trying to reduce some CC because people like the fluidity and movement. People don't like being inhibited, and adding more CC would make it worse for everybody else. Maybe you'll get more tank players who like that feeling, but then you'll just like throw away everybody else who's getting on the receiving end of all the CC. Hot take, playing Kiriko feels bad to play because she gets outclassed by most other supports and is really just used to hard counter Ana. We have Aspen in the chat who just sent a raid as we're filming this right now, if you're watching, and she has said this take is very hot, and I think everybody agrees here. What the hell is this, man? You're saying Kiriko gets outclassed by most other supports? Huh? Only used to hard counter Ana because anti equals Suzu. Play it for Suzu. That's it? That's the only reason why you play Kiriko? This is Aspen's response to this. Kiriko actually has so much utility, people will get mad when I don't want to play her, especially against any negative affecting ability. Juno was hard meta, but low-key Kiriko is coming back. I agree. I mean, I played today. Juno, it feels really, it's so hard to build Juno's ult right now. It like takes way longer. Yeah, I could definitely feel the 10% nerf. And then 3 triple Kiriko buffs, where you're able to actually weave in 2 kunais between every Ofuda and stuff. Feels real good. My response to this take is Kiriko does not feel bad to play. That's number 1. Number 2, she does not get outclassed by other supports. In fact, she is one of the most versatile supports, incredibly flexible. You don't only play it to counter Ana, you play it when you don't know what else to pick. Kiriko falls under the umbrella of a generalist support, one of the generic generalist heroes that like, if you don't know what the fuck to do, that you cannot go wrong picking Kiriko. Kind of like Diva, kind of like Tracer, kind of like, you know, Kiriko. These are the heroes where it's like, you were trying some fun stuff with Lifeweaver or Zenyatta is not working. I don't know, just pick Kiriko. It's literally the safest pick ever because you can do anything. You can opt to heal bot and play for Kitsune. You can take strong angles and DPS people down. You can pick people off with your stuff. You can Suzu because there's always a negative effect in every game. And Kitsune Rush is a fantastic tempo proactive ultimate. She kind of does a little bit of everything. And if you're gonna one trick someone, like this one, like can slot in anywhere when nobody would really get that mad at you for any reason unless you play it terribly. But yeah, Kiriko does not feel bad at all to play. Last hot take, builder and turret heroes have the most interesting playstyles in the game. Learning where to place things in the heat of the battle provide value is way cooler than simply clicking on hitboxes, especially Symmetra. I pray for a builder tank so we have one for every role. I mean, are we playing the same game? It's pretty subjective. Like, listen, if you like builder heroes, that's your archetype, that's fine. I just don't know if I understand that intuitively. Because to me, building feels like the least engaging gameplay because I put something down and like it does the work for me. In the heat of battle, if your shit goes down, your turret or your sentry turrets on sim go down, you kind of just, I don't know, maybe I'm playing builders wrong, but like if my turrets are destroyed and the fight of the battle is literally going now, I probably just chuck my sentry, I chuck my turret, I just put the thing down as quick as possible. Sometimes it's right on the ground in front of me if I'm 1v1ing somebody, or like if they're fighting, they're not looking, I just throw it and leave it. You find that cooler, I find that a little bit more boring, and I would argue, I mean, this is a hot take, so you don't have a popular opinion, and I think majority of people agree, like, the stats don't lie. Generally speaking, most of the builders have one of the lowest play times in the game. That's it for the video. Thanks for listening, and peace.